Welcome back to Missouri Mayhem, Mystery and Murder. I'm Mindy.
And I'm Megan. We are so happy to be back with you on this wonderful Monday or whenever you're listening to it, I guess. Hope everyone listening's having a great day. And we are excited for this. It's not a case.
Not really. It's not a case.
Yeah, we're excited for today's topic, though. We're going to be talking about Harry Truman, some of his life, whether or not his ghost still haunts the White House and his home in Independence, Missouri.
Maybe he was up to a little mayhem. We don't know.
Yeah, that's right. Hopefully, no murder. No murder.
No murder. I don't think so,
Yeah.
Harry.
So, Mindy, what's up with you?
Nothing. Finally got all my Christmas decorations down.
I'm so torn about that some years. Like, I wanna take them down, but I don't.
Yeah.
It's because
It just takes so much time to put them up.
I know, and then you only get to enjoy them for a month.
I know. So it's like, well, I might just keep them till like second week of January.
Well, what's the longest
When
you
does it get trashy?
when is it not acceptable? What or
March.
so well, how long have you what's the longest you've ever had your Christmas decorations
I've
up?
never had my decorations up past probably January 5th.
Wow, really?
Never. What
I
about you?
Well, usually I have them down by, like you said, the second week of
Yeah.
and now that I'm retired, it's much easier to, like,
Yeah.
get in the mode. Like, when I was working, it was like, God, I just don't gosh, I don't wanna do that
Yeah.
tonight. I don't wanna mess with that, and so,
Okay,
yeah.
you know what kills me is all the work we do to decorate and all the stuff we do for Christmas, and the minute Christmas is over, well, not really the minute, it's more like January 2nd, there's nothing on TV about Christmas anymore.
Nothing.
Nothing. And it's just
No, it's all
everything.
Valentine's Day now.
Is it really already?
Already.
Oh gosh.
They just move right
Either
on.
way, you get good rom-coms, so
So, no, but yeah, I got my Christmas decor down and oh, you
good.
went to Florida too?
I did go to Florida. Yeah, we
Nice.
went to Destin, and that was
You
fun.
said the beach was pretty there.
Yeah, it's really white sands, and it's really pretty there.
Awesome. Well,
S
I didn't do anything exciting like that, but I did have an amazing Christmas break.
Good,
All the
good.
fam was in town
And you
and
had a nice Christmas for us, thank you.
yeah, well, no problem. Yeah. All right.
Well, should we get into Mr. Harry Truman?
Let's do it.
Okay. So, he was our can you guess what
Oh,
number
no.
of president he was? He was number drumroll,
Okay,
33.
I was probably gonna say 20.
And so he did 2 terms right there in a row, and he was in from 1945 to 1953.
And here's the thing that I don't think a lot of people realize, or at least I don't think I realized the magnitude until we got into this case
Mhm.
of all the things
That he was involved
he
with.
had to deal with. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So tell
Well,
us,
and all
I
of the
mean,
things that first of all, he was in World War One,
right?
and
Yeah.
then okay, so
So then he ends up when he's in office this time, look at all this stuff he
yeah,
did.
yeah, so, he did the Truman Doctrine, the Marshall Plan, the Berlin Aircraft, NATO, Korean War, approved use of atomic bombs, to end World War II, desegregation of armed forces, expanded Social Security, fair employment practices, and the Civil Rights Report.
All that. Well, and you think too, he took office because right? Because FDR passed away in
Yeah,
office.
and so he was
He
inaugurated, like, right then.
Yes, and can you I mean, to me, okay, I'll be your VP, but, like,
Oh,
please don't
I
anything
mean,
happen to
that
you.
that's a possibility that it could happen.
Especially FDR had been in office, what, so many years, and so
Yes.
I think he the quote, because you guys, we did research
We
for this
did.
podcast.
We did.
We took a little field trip
We
yesterday.
did. We took a field trip, and we went to Independence, Missouri. So, we went to the visitor center, we went to the library, and museum, and we also went to his house.
Which was
Very cool.
amazing.
I hi I'm gonna say this like 100 times. Highly recommend doing all those things, and guess how much all of that cost
Yeah.
for both of
For
us?
us to go do that, like, okay, drum roll.
$24.
You guys, there are tons of cool things, like, in our backyard, and if you're not in our area, wherever you are, look, there's cool stuff out there.
There's stuff to do.
Yes, so we did. We went on location for you guys and learned all kinds of cool stuff about here.
All kinds of fun stuff.
Okay,
So,
let's
Harry
learn more about him.
Truman, he was born on May 8th of 1884 in Lamar, Missouri,
Yeah.
and he passed away at the good age of 88 years old on December 26th of 1972. Yes. And he passed away at Research Medical Center. It's said that he passed away from multiple organ failure, like
Okay.
just one organ after the other kept failing, and that's how
Failing.
he passed away.
Mhm.
Yes. And Truman's ghost, we're going to say, quote unquote, because, oh, we're just gonna have fun with that today. It
Yes.
usually when someone says that, it usually refers to the legend that he haunted his home in Independence, and that is the house that we went to yesterday.
Yes, yes. Aw.
And if you're interested in going there, the address is 219 North Delaware Street, so
Yeah, and Independence, and you do have to get your tickets from the visitor
visitor center
center, which
before you go there,
yeah, and
yes.
it's just right down the road.
Yeah, don't just show up at the house 'cause they won't let you in, and they're very strict there.
But they're very nice.
They're very
But
nice.
I'm glad they take their job very serious.
They do,
Yes.
and, they let us know immediately when we got there, "Do not walk on the lawn, and do not you can only step on the certain color carpet
Don't
inside the
touch.
house." And how long do you think
That's what
we how long do you think
How long do you think it took before Mindy got in trouble?
I mean, seriously, how long was it?
Well, you made it through the back porch area. You
Yeah, I
stayed
did.
on the carpet.
I did, that was hard.
And then we went in the house and they took us into the kitchen. And I honestly, it was so hard because you want to like go up and
I
look at
wanna
stuff.
touch, I wanna touch.
Yes. And so we're standing there and I look down, I immediately see you walk.
Ah.
And before I could even reach out and grab you back, she goes, "Ma'am, ma'am, get back on the carpet, ma'am." I was like, okay, okay. All right, Mindy, we're gonna get in trouble. And then
Oh,
Mindy asked like 3 times, "Could I go in there? Could I just go
'cause
look
there
at
are rooms
things?"
you were not allowed to
Allowed to
go
go
into,
in.
but they told you what was in there. But you could step on this certain corner that would give you a glimpse into the room, which was just a huge teaser.
It
And it was
was.
like, I could see the bed in there, but I wanted to go in that room. And I was like,
Yes.
what would she do if I just did it?
What happens?
I mean,
I say you would be arrested or
some
you'd be
alarms start going off, and
we'd be blacklisted for the rest of our lives for any Missouri national parks, anything.
gosh.
Okay, all right, so back
Okay,
to
yes.
Mr. Harry.
But anyway, so Mr. Uh, Truman, he lived in that house until his death in 1972 so he lived there for a total of 53
In
years.
that house in
Yes,
Independence.
and I wanna let it be known, Bess, his wife okay, so a little bit about that house, it was built in
Oh my
1867.
gosh.
Yes, by Bess's that's his wife, grandfather, not great-grandfather, just grandfather. His name was George Porterfield Gates, and so Bess, like, back then, when you would build a house like that, it was kind of a family thing, and your family lived there after, your kids and their kids, and
S
Bess ended up living in this house her entire life,
Her whole life,
She
except for when she was at the White House.
except for then,
Yeah,
and she lived to be 97 years old.
she died in that
She
house.
died she's probably born in that house,
Yeah, yeah.
honestly, because
I
home births were huge
Oh, I
in the late 1800s.
absolutely. And because I thought she said, right, there's 2 deaths in the house.
She said there were 2.
Bess and I think George.
Yes.
Yeah, George
Yep.
Gates.
So, anyway, in 1885, they keep quoting this, the gates expanded, and I'm not sure what that means. I think they just, added on to the home, and that's what that means,
Yes.
turning it into one of the most prestigious Victorian residences in Independence with 14 rooms total and a little over 8,000 square feet, but it did
Yes.
not feel that
No.
big.
I would have guessed, like, this home had max 2,000, maybe 2,500,
Yeah.
but also, you guys don't be disappointed, you only get
Yeah.
to go on the main
You do
floor.
not get to go upstairs, and it leaves you so
Oh,
wondering.
it may I yes, and she said there were 5 bedrooms and a bathroom upstairs.
Upstairs, yeah.
So, I mean, and then we didn't get to go to the basement or the attic area, which we really
We really wanted to do it all.
yes, but, what we did get to see was super cool, and, yeah, I think they said maybe I don't know how long, but yeah, and because remember, did they show us the seam where the house had been added
Yes, they
onto?
showed us exact point where the new house
And
or the
then
new addition had been added on to,
yes,
yes.
that was cool.
So, Harry and Bess, they married on June 28th, 1919, and something that I think is so interesting about their relationship is they did not get married until they were 35 years old, and you guys, they graduated high school together,
Ye
and this was in, the early 1900s
yes,
and that they grew up together and all of this, so
yes.
people got married really young then, so that was really something that they waited till they were 35. And
Yeah.
Megan, you heard
I Googled this last
okay,
night.
what?
So I'm like, wonder because he makes comments several times about how he fell in love with her when she was a little girl and he met her for the first time in Sunday school. And
Yes.
he said, the minute I walked in the room and saw her bleach blonde hair, bright blue eyes, and
And
suntan
tan
skin, he
skin.
said, and we saw a
Isn't that
picture.
what we all strive for?
Right? Right. Seriously, what's there not?
All of those
I mean,
qualities.
come on. But
She's a beautiful lady.
yes, she was. She had really pretty eyes.
Mhm.
And he fell in love with her then. Well, he never he makes the comments many years later like, well, first of all, they know each other throughout their childhoods. They live literally around the corner from each other, et cetera, close to each other. But then as they became adults, of course, I mean, it wasn't like they were good friends. They were just
Yeah.
acquaintances and they kind of fell apart. He never thought he was good enough for her because her family was considered a little bit upper
Yeah.
class. And so he's like, she'll
And
never.
her mom put a lot of pressure on her to marry someone really,
Yeah.
really worth it, and
Yes.
didn't really think that he was that man for a while.
No, I think what I read was mom said that basically she wasn't good enough for him as a farmer. And even when he became president, she still didn't believe he was good enough for her daughter, which I mean,
That's your daughter.
that's right. But so yeah, so basically they weren't in touch for most of their excuse me, for a majority of like their early like 20s,
Mhm.
then to their mid 20s. And then Mindy, you want to tell how they kind of reconnected?
With the cake?
Yes.
Well, you tell it
You want me to
because
tell it?
you told
Yeah.
it really good earlier.
So, the Nolan house, which you can also tour,
Mhm.
it's called the Nolan house and it's just right across the street. That's where relatives of, I thought it was Bess's, it could be Harry's, but basically there were family relatives that lived in this house across the street that Harry was friends with and that Bess, also family acquaintances. Well, he's visiting the Nolans one day and they said, "Oh, could you take this cake or pie pan back across the street to
Ding, 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 ding,
yeah,
ding.
and would you mind running this back over there?" And he knew she lived there.
Heck
And he's like,
yes.
"What are the chances she might open the door?" And sure enough, she did, and she invited him in.
Aw.
But that's not I mean, they don't end up getting together. Like you said, they don't get married
Maybe till
till
they're 35.
because again, her mom did not think he was financially well off enough or his status in the world was good enough for her at that time. And
Mhm.
he wanted to be with her so bad. He was willing to be like, you know what? Okay, I'm going to go out in the world. I'm going to try and make something of myself and then I'll come back and get you.
And then
And
I'll
that's what he
marry.
did.
It's exactly what
Yes,
happened.
yes. And so I just think that
And
is,
still her mom was
and
like,
not,
"No."
and yeah, we'll talk. I don't know if you get to that about how he had to sit across from the dinner table.
No, tell that.
Oh my gosh. So, first of all, him, like Mindy had said, he moved in with Bess, which was super rare back
Right,
then for the
right.
man to move in with the woman. But
And that probably made the mom mad too. Like, you should have your own estate
house,
that a Victorian estate that my daughter should be able to move into, and it should not be this way.
mine, well, I mean, she ruled that house till she died. Basically, they
Yeah.
said, like, she ended up, did she die in the White House? Did they say? I think they said she died in the White House. His
Yes, I think you're
Her
right.
name was
Mhm.
Madge, Bess's mom. And I mean, talk about her life. I mean, what she got to see, she ended up getting to go to the White House.
Right.
You know? And so her name
I
was
mean, was he good enough then?
right! And Madge, when Harry and Bess got married and moved in, she still required, according to Kenna, our park ranger, who
Yes,
was
she was
great,
great.
she said every night, no matter what, girls had to put on dresses, men had to have ties on for dinner
Could you even imagine?
every night. And she said, and for 30 years, Harry sat at one end of the table and Madge sat at the other end.
And we saw the dining room. It was
Oh my,
gorgeous. I mean, it was just like out of a movie,
it
with the
was.
Victorian era, like that you would see. And you can see
Yes.
everyone getting dressed up and showing
Oh,
up. But what a pain in the butt. Could you imagine every night?
honestly. But I think back then that was just
Standard.
they did that. Like the thought of coming to the dinner table
People
in
don't even
sweats and
come
a
to the dinner
sweatshirt.
table now.
Right. And yeah, no. So I think that's fascinating. And if we
It
didn't
is.
tell you guys already, the house is literally like frozen in time the day Bess
Oh
died.
my goodness. It's not like it's been redone and
No.
it has not. Okay, I have to tell
Tell
you
all
the
this.
most intriguing
It's
thing the most
crazy.
intriguing thing that was original to me was the freaking bar of soap in the kitchen.
Yes.
It was the original bar of soap that was left there in 1982
Yeah.
when Bess passed away.
It and it had looked like it had dirt
There was
down
a
in
there
it,
was a
like
calendar on the wall, and her nurse maids would come every day, and when they would leave, they'd mark the day off, and it was marked off till the day that she passed away.
yes, and it's, like, supposedly the original calendar. I mean, they
Yeah.
said the house is 99% original.
Mhm.
They said, like and the craziest thing to me that I don't know if I've ever seen is in their kitchen, the ceiling was wallpapered.
The ceiling and, I it was a lot, but
Yeah,
I kind of was like,
I did
"Why didn't" I did not hate it either, and I was like I was trying to think in my head how I could wallpaper my ceiling.
gosh,
But then I realized I have popcorn ceilings.
yeah, and I'm like, "Who thought of popcorn?"
Right.
But and
But
2, the fact that they were so frugal.
yeah.
The linoleum first of all, they were not gonna have super nice floors. They ended up going for the linoleum because it was cheap.
Yes.
And then when it started ripping, they didn't have it repaired. She just took nails
And
and
tacked it down. She just did her own
yeah, and
self-repairs.
we saw it on the floor. And okay,
She was quite the lady.
how would you describe the, color they had the woodwork painted in the kitchen?
Oh my gosh, it was like an oceany bluey color. It was very almost
Kind of
maybe a minty,
yes, kind
like,
of a minty,
oh, it
greeny
was just
blue,
it was wonderful.
and it didn't really match the wallpaper at all. But
N
Mindy said, "I love this color," and I think she said that one
Margaret, the
yes!
daughter, their only child, they had one child, Margaret, and she said, "I want to paint the kitchen one day." And what was the story? So she started painting it this color, that's the color she wanted to paint,
Yeah,
and her dad came home and helped her.
yeah. Oh, I think she said what was it? She said, "He called and she said, 'I'm almost done. I'll have it done and I'll have dinner ready when you get home.'" And he
Yes.
came home and it wasn't ready, so he helped her finish it and took her out to dinner. Yes.
Yes.
I'm like, so yeah, I just think that's so
I
cool.
seriously love that color, though.
Me
That
yeah,
was
it's very cool.
so nice.
Okay.
So when Truman was elected as to the US Senate in 1934 and then later vice president, the family spent time in Washington D.C., of course, but they regularly returned to this home in Independence. They basically just kept it forever.
Yes.
And they called their house the Summer White House.
Of course.
Yes. And Truman, it said that he spent all of his holidays there and just he loved being in that house.
Yeah.
Yeah, and summers are nice here, so
And when we first were walked onto the property and told to stay on the sidewalk, she
yes.
said, "We're not gonna go in front like dignitaries would in the front door."
That is what she said.
She goes, "Well, we're gonna go around like family would to the back door."
Yes,
But she let us leave
yes.
through the front door.
That was very, very cool.
Yes. So, I mean, it was yeah, crazy.
And after his presidency, of course, that's what they immediately did was go back home.
Yes.
It's not like they were like, "Oh, you're president, let's go move somewhere else." They loved independence.
They did, and I think they had spent some time maybe, like you said, when he was in the, Senate.
Yes.
I read something last night too about, um 'cause I'd seen a quote in the museum where he'd said, like, those 10 years, I guess it was about 10 years when he was senator,
Yeah.
and they spent that time in DC with him and Margaret,
Mhm.
were, like, 10 of the best years of their life.
He did say
Yeah,
that.
he said because, they'd come from independence, they had this wonderful life here, and then he got to show his girls, he said, the other part of the world.
World.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
just said that was so
He
cool.
just seemed
But
like a
then
great
and
man.
then to come back, though, and live in the same house you lived in,
Yes.
not buy something new, better,
No.
which this was a different time too, but
No,
yeah,
it
for sure.
was really cool. And in 1983, the house was officially designated a National Historic Site,
Okay.
and that was because that those were Bess's wishes.
Yeah.
That's what she wanted to do with the house, and she told her daughter, "Come in and get whatever you want,"
Yep.
and she did. She came in and just took a couple pictures.
She took, yeah, I think a couple paintings,
Yeah, a couple
threw away some
paintings.
stuff, like a
Yeah.
chair she didn't like.
Yeah. Like, yeah, she's like, "I'm getting rid of this chair just because I don't like it," is what
Well,
Kenna said.
and I'm like, the fact that, like, Margaret was like, "You know what? Here, take it all, American
Yeah,
people." I mean,
yeah.
that's her she could have taken so many cool things out of there.
You know what we need to talk about real quick before we forget are the love letters.
Oh,
Can we
and Bess's first lady picture.
Yes.
Okay, so
Okay,
you
so
talk
let's
about one of those and I'll talk about the other?
okay, so the love letters, Harry was his daughter called him
a serial
serial
letter writer.
writer. And he loved writing letters, and he wrote Bess, like, the prettiest love
Over 1,800.
letter ever. Like, he just wrote
Yes.
her all the time, and he was ornery in 'em, and he was fun, and you get to read some of them when you go to the museum, and,
It's so
um yeah, yeah, so he wrote lots of love letters. Well, one day, he came in, and she was at the fireplace burning love letters.
burning her letters that she'd written back to him.
Yeah, and
He
he's like, "What are you doing?" And she's like, "Burning letters." And he's like, "Why are you doing that? That's history." Like, he was very sentimental, he kept everything, and he said, "Why are you doing that? That's history." And she said, "Exactly." Like, basically, "Exactly, that's why I'm burning
burning them,
it."
it's our private relationship.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
because I think they said he has 1,800 letters that they still have on file in the museum that or, like, in their
Yeah,
archives, and there's only 200 of her responses left.
because she
Burned
burned
them all!
them.
Yes, and then
She's
yeah,
like, "I'm getting rid of all
she's
this."
like, "Nope, this is."
Maybe she said some, inappropriate things back then. I don't
Or maybe
know.
it's one of those things. I wanna think, like, she's just, like, so much about their love being their love.
Love, and I'm
I don't wanna
no
be.
one gets to read this but me.
Yes, and,
And
like.
he had a complete different opinion, like, "No, we're keeping this," which is why,
Yes.
you know
Well, and really the fact that he was, I think, ahead of his time at this time, thinking about, like, the future and being a steward for the United States and, like, leaving this historical stuff.
Yes,
He really understood the importance
and
of
if you
that.
go to the museum, you'll see. I'm so glad he did.
He did.
I mean, he kept everything. Like, he kept his graduation pen
Yeah.
from high
I mean,
school, and they had that on display. Like,
yes.
everything that he kept.
And the program of his high school graduation, it reminded
Hilarious.
me of something, our
R
grandma would have done.
Yes.
The program,
Had been written on, like, during the ceremony, like, names checked off as they walked across
across
the
the
stage.
stage. I'm like, "That's awesome." Yes,
It
so
was
very
so
cool.
do you wanna talk about the picture?
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. So we're in the house, and one thing I thought was kind of endearing too, when you walk in the main doors of the house, the first thing you see is this giant picture of Margaret.
Yes, the daughter,
Yes, which is
Margaret.
beautiful. She's beautiful, standing, like, early 20s in front of this piano, and he said, "I want the first thing any of our visitors to see is always Margaret." And I'm
Yes.
like, "Oh, that's sweet." And I said, "Oh," and the Kenneth said, "That's when she tried out her opera career."
That's right, she did have said that didn't go, like, maybe
So
so
well,
great.
and he was president at the time. Okay, this is a whole off the subject, but this is a good story too. Did I
Yeah.
tell you about this one? I don't know. Anyway, I got into a big rabbit hole last night with Harry Truman. So we asked Kenna. We said, "Was she good? Have you ever heard it?" She goes, "I have heard it, and let's just say." Her voice, she has a good voice. Her voice wasn't really made for opera. If she would have been like a pop, like Brenda Lee
That
back
might
then.
have been better.
So, he was the president at the time. So most of the critics were pretty nice to her
Yeah.
because her dad's president. Well, according to what Kenna said, or what I read, maybe, he reads a very harsh article about her saying she has a great voice for a high school choir, but she's
Oh,
nothing better than that.
no.
So
Oh, no.
he was so pissed off. He wrote back, Harry did, a scathing letter to this guy. Well, his press secretary happened to be off that day, who would normally vet any letters he sent out. And this was considered one of the most taboo things of his presidency. He
Oh.
sent a letter to that guy without anyone approving it or reading it. And it basically said, "Gentlemen, I hope you never meet me in a back alley because you'll need a stake for your black eye and an ice pack for your nether region."
Oh my
Yeah, and didn't say nether, but I think he basically said
Right.
your private area or down there. He
He probably
insinuated.
said the word.
And I'm like, good job, Harry, taking
They
up for
were
your
very
daughter.
protective parents, very tight-knit family.
Yes. So then when you walk in we didn't get to go in there, but in the living room, Mindy was like, "Oh, that's super cool." There was a picture of Bess in there that was very nice. And Kenna's like, "Don't know if you know this or not," which I just think this is amazing. The fact that she said that picture is the only first lady picture that was done in the White House. They all sit for their portrait.
Professionally painted.
Yes, this is the only first lady White House portrait that is not at the White House in the White House collection on display. Well, nobody noticed till a decade or two later until Jackie Kennedy.
Because in 1953, they sent the picture home with them to
Yes.
Independence with their things.
Okay, yeah, there you go. Yeah, right. So when they left, well, okay, so they were in the White House The piano that Margaret played, the foot fell through the floor. So they did this whole renovation to the White House.
Yeah.
It was literally falling apart.
Yeah,
They said it's amazing. It was
yeah,
condemned.
and we're gonna talk about that
Okay, good. Then I
'cause
won't say any more about that. But I don't know if she took it because, like, they moved out while it was being refurbished and then they didn't move it.
right.
Who knows? But she got it out of the White House, like you said,
Yeah.
somehow. So decades go by. I mean, however long. Whenever Jackie was in. So it's probably 10, 15,
Yeah.
20 years later, she gets a call from Jackie Kennedy saying, or Jackie Kennedy's person, someone had finally done Jackie an inventory of all the First Lady portraits because she was redoing it. She was also doing some things there and noticed Bess's wasn't there. So they said, Kenna said, somebody called Bess and said, "Hey, do you happen to have your portrait?" And she said, "Yep, it's hanging above my fireplace." And they said, "Well, is there any way you would return that and so we could have the full collection?" She said, "No, you guys didn't miss it up
Right.
till now."
You didn't miss it, so why would I give it back?
Yeah, she's like, "You guys obviously didn't care enough." And so they're like, "Well, is there any way we could send the painter to your house?" And she said, "No, I'm not sitting for that again."
Plus, and she's probably thinking also, plus I don't look like I did then. You know what I mean?
Yes!
You're not what are you gonna do? Put an old and I'm gonna be like the oldest
The
of
old first
old?
lady.
The like
Yeah, no. And so she said, "Here's what I'll offer you. You can send the painter to my house and they can recreate the painting from above my fireplace." So that's what they did. So I'm like, I love that
nice.
story.
I do too.
But
Oh.
anyways.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the quote unquote Truman
Ooh,
ghost
okay.
at his home in Independence. So some say he still walks the halls at the night, revisiting the place where he spent most of his life with his beloved wife, Bess.
Yeah.
The most common reported, eh, I guess you could say, thing
Ghost thing.
ghost thing involves the sound of footsteps upstairs when the building is empty. How do people know though if it's empty?
Well, because Kenna even said once in a while they'll have she'll give it to her downstairs, and there'll
Yeah.
be a person upstairs, like, working from the maintenance, and
Oh,
they'll hear him, and she'll be like, "Did you guys"
oh. Okay, and a faint figure sometimes seen near his study window.
That study was cool.
One staff member claimed to smell his cologne Bay Rum.
Oh, that's what
That's the
it's
name of
called?
his cologne,
Bay
Bay Rum.
rum.
She said it lingered in the hallways. Another visitor claimed she heard the distinct sound of piano keys, even though there was no piano inside, but there was a piano.
There's a Yeah, and I think the whole story about that piano, remember?
Yep.
He gave it to her for
She
her
didn't want it.
No, for, like, her 8th birthday, and
I
she'd
thought it
wanted
was Christmas.
or Chris and she'd wanted this other gift that was kid appropriate,
Yeah,
and he's like, "Here's piano." She cried, he said, for
cried and ran out of the room.
but she was a very musically talented person, I guess.
Visitors and staff over the years have reported lights appearing to turn on and off, furniture seemingly slightly moved, or a strong feeling of being watched, especially upstairs where we didn't get to go.
No.
And the bedrooms have a sudden silence or temperature change in certain
I
rooms.
wish we would've gone up.
Now, mind you, this is a really old house. So, skeptical explanations of that. It
Yeah.
was built in 1867, creaking wood, settling floors, drafts, and also the house is literally preserved.
Ugh.
It's like it was, so that can I make it feel something. Now, I did not feel that the house. I
I
didn't get a haunted feeling or any of that.
I had an amazing feeling in it.
I did
I loved
too.
every minute. Like, I
I
didn't feel
I
anything
felt
weird at all.
I felt energy in there, like I was there and it was, 1950. And
Yes.
and I could see people going in and out of the front door, just imagining what it was like, the livelihood there and
Yes.
how and I'll tell you what really, really stuck out to me that I thought was cool. If you guys have ever seen there's a lot of pictures of Harry S. Truman in a coat, like a rain, like a coat and
Oceans.
a hat that matches it, and they're like this tan color. Well, after his very, very last walk before he died, he hung that up and it is still there from that walk.
His
And
wife, Bess, left it. She said it they said it's not moved there since 1972,
yes, yes. So I thought that was just
and then her coat's
really
hanging next to it
yeah,
now.
but I didn't feel I didn't feel
No.
like
What I
there was a
felt
ghost there.
was because she died in 1982,
Yes.
So the house is frozen in time, basically in 1982,
82.
but she didn't do any updates to it. Like, it
No.
still looks like when he lived there, but it was funny because their mantle on their fireplace, like, the whole thing
Yes.
it just time warped me back to the '80s,
Uh-huh.
and then she had on her fireplace these '80s-esque pictures of her grandsons,
Yes.
and I'm like, "Are those" and they were in plastic frames.
I know.
And then he's like, "Are those, like, plastic frames from Walmart?" And they're like I
Yeah.
mean, they were penny pinchers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, so which they came through a lot of hard times
Yes.
too. Yes.
Good.
Okay.
So
No, I love that.
now let's go to the White House for a second. He supposedly also haunts the White House. So and and the reason why they think he did is because during his presidency, the White House was found to be structurally unsafe. And Megan was getting ready to tell a story about a table that came through the
The
ceiling
ceiling.
up from one floor into the ceiling of the bottom underneath
Yes.
it. And they were there when it happened.
I think Margaret
Mhm.
was playing her piano, and the foot of the piano went through it's into the downstairs floor.
Okay, is that
Like,
what it
yeah,
was? The
it came
piano?
yes.
And that's when Harry was like, "Oh my, we are going to gut this place." And it supposedly, if he had not done that, it would have, like, fallen in. It was really
Oh,
bad.
we had also an amazing lady at the museum. She was a former history teacher. I don't remember what her name was, but she'd said that architects and people came in and they're like, "This needs to be torn down.
Yeah,
This can't stay." They said literally for months, scaffolding
yeah.
was the only thing holding up
They
the
said they
outside.
completely rebuilt it from the inside out, right?
Yes, yes,
Or
and
was it the outside
no, I
in?
think it was the inside
Inside
out,
out, yeah.
and that so that they basically were only able to salvage, like, a few original rooms and
And
stuff.
evidently, it was kinda like a controversial decision. It wasn't like I don't think
Well, and because I think, obviously the American people had to pay for it, I
yeah.
assume, through taxes and things, I don't know.
So, since he was so invested into the White House and did all of this, a lot of people say he haunted it because, he was emotionally attached
Yeah,
and like he never left type thing. So,
yes, and he took the buffalo, um so Bess took her picture, and the
yes.
one thing Harry took from the White House, it's a buffalo hearth that goes on the fireplace.
Yes, the entire hearth.
Yeah, I mean, that some president from a long time ago,
It
it
was
was
huge.
supposed to be lion heads, and they changed it to buffalo, and it has this, like,
Yes.
biblical scripture on it. Oh, John Adams.
Oh,
It
was
was
that if that was
yeah,
Sean
and
Adams.
so he took it and wouldn't give it back to
Now, I have a question for you guys. How many presidents do you think have remodeled the White House?
okay. So, Truman, Kennedy, I'm gonna guess 3.
18.
Well, holy smokes. I guess, though, it's old, so
Yeah, 18,
18?
and that includes the recent renovations I think Trump's doing right now. So, 18.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a lot. It's a lot more than I
And
thought.
so, what does the ghostly presence at the White House look like? Well, let's read about that. People report the feeling of being watched near the Oval Office and West Wing. Truman's ghost is never described as frightening. In fact, those who sense him say he brings a calming presence, which I could
I
see
totally
if he
believe that.
was going to be a ghost.
Yes.
Yes, as though checking in on the home that he deeply so cared for.
Aw, I totally believe
I
that.
think he really really loved the White House and his home
And
so
I
much.
get a good I just had a good feeling in that house. I had a good feeling in the museum. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yes.
Thought it was all good vibes.
Yes. And like I just said, that fits his personality.
Yes.
um
Because he is known for those things.
Yeah, he is. Yeah,
He's known for being blunt, stubborn, and deeply protective. And
yes,
so, yeah.
he was. The White House has had many reported ghosts, including that of Abraham Lincoln, Andrew Madison, and Dolly Madison.
Good old
I
Dolly.
bet you she just bakes away in that kitchen.
She makes those little ding dong ho ho thingies that she makes.
And it said that Truman's ghost is more like a watchful caretaker than a frightening spirit. Now,
I like that.
I'm going to tell you, I think this is hilarious because we were looking for some mayhem, and I was like, oh, let's do Truey or
Harry Truman.
Harry Truman's gosh,
Truey.
his ghost. And so anyway, the person at the visitor center, he was like, I was like, so can you tell me any ghost stories? And he's like, no.
No. I mean, you
I
could
mean, he flat out his face just flattened like Like, what are you talking about? There's no ghosts." And then Kenna, our sweet little tour guide, I asked the same question, "No?"
Yeah.
And I felt so
I mean,
stupid.
and then we also, I maybe think, asked the lady did we ask the lady at the museum or did we
Yes,
not?
we think we did, and
Yes.
she's like, "No."
No?
I mean, we just got denied all of it. So,
Yes.
anyway, but if you're interested in
Mhm.
going to any of those, I'm gonna give you the addresses of those places. The Truman Home, actually, I'll give you the visitor center first because 'cause you're gonna need to go there to get your Truman Home
First.
tickets, and that's 223 North Main Street, Independence, Missouri, 64050. And then, there you can get tickets to go to the Truman Home, which is located at 219 North Delaware, also in Independence. And then you have to go to the Truman Library Museum, which was $12 a piece to get in,
Yeah.
and
Worth it.
that's it. Totally worth it. 500 West US Highway 24 in Independence, Missouri.
Awesome. Awesome.
So,
Yeah.
I think that's gonna be it for this case today. Oh, and the phone number is 816-268-8200.
Awesome. Yeah, you guys totally recommend going to all those, and not just the Harry Truman, museum and those kind of things. Look around the state. There's a lot of cool things
And,
that don't cost a lot of money.
and when you
And
walk out, you can donate. There's
yes.
like a giant tip jar,
Yes.
and you can donate, and it is full of money, and that's good to see.
And just I think Harry too, just from what we know about him, what we felt, what we saw, embodies to a time of striving for peace and love and
And he
unity.
in
And
his lifetime, he saw so
and he
much.
had a lot. I mean, like the atomic bomb, having the
Yeah.
pressure of having to do that,
Oh
and
my
I
goodness.
can't, I didn't know he had helped settle Israel, like, had helped make Israel a
Yeah.
state and all
Mhm.
that stuff, so he's done so much, but here's what kinda caught me off guard. I'll just end on this. I asked Kenna because this house is so beautiful and amazing, and I was shocked there was not tons of, like, security measures,
I
like
know.
locks and things on windows and doors, and we said, I said, "Does anyone ever attempt to vandalize this place? Because that would just break my heart." And her response was, "No, because people just don't care anymore." And
It's
that
not
hurt my
they don't
heart.
care enough to vandalize
They
it.
don't care about the house,
Mm-mm.
the relics in it, any of that. She's like, "Unfortunately, people don't unless they come here and see it, they don't understand." You
Yeah, and I
know?
mean, and we were there on, what was yesterday?
Wednesday?
Wednesday, and I mean, we were the only people, and
Yeah,
that makes me sad. I mean,
it
but it was
does.
also very nice.
Yeah.
Um,
Museum had quite a few people. They had a whole
lot of kids.
homeschool co-op, and so
Yes.
so you guys, thank you so much for being with us today. We
Yes.
appreciate it. Until next time, as always, stay curious, stay safe, stay kind. Thank you so much for listening. This has been Missouri Mayhem, Mystery and Murder. I'm Megan.
And I'm Mindy,
Missouri, you bring the mystery.
and we'll bring the mayhem. Peace
Peace
out.
out.